Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Five Door Media podcast. This is season 4, where we are diving into the future of the cleaning industry through the lens of technology, software, and AI. Today's guest is someone who truly gets what it takes to build and scale the cleaning business and how to leverage smart technology to do it faster, better, and more profitable. Michelle Jeppesen is the Director of Business Development at SendJim, a platform that helps home service businesses build unforgettable relationships with their customers through automated, hyper-personalized follow-up and direct mail. From handwritten postcards and thank you notes to smart targeting and automation, SendJim is helping thousands of service pros stay top of mind without adding more to their plate. Michelle brings a rare blend of marketing know-how, boots on the ground experience, and a deep passion for helping business owners grow, not just in revenue, but in reputation and relationships. In this episode, we're talking about how to build trust at scale, where automation can actually make your brand more human, and why the cleaning industry is just getting started when it comes to tech-enabled growth. Michelle, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks so much, Drew.
Absolutely. Happy to have you here. Should be a good conversation. So let's set the scene, so to speak, when we're jumping in. SendJim, is known for making automation feel personal. In your view, what has changed in how cleaning and home service pros are thinking about follow-up and client communication over maybe the last 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I think that in general, one of the Achilles heels of owning a business is you're always chasing the shiny new object, right? And so it's always the new customer. That's the exciting thing. How do I get that new customer? And I feel like just with how many new businesses have popped up, people are realizing that they really need to focus not just on the new, which is really important, but also squeezing as much as they can from the list that they already have, and that you're literally sitting on a gold mine with your prospect list and your current customers. And so the more that you can really make it not just like a second thought or the last thing on your to-do list, but a priority to stay in front of the people you're already serving, the more your business is going to grow. Not from your customers themselves, but also them referring and in tandem getting those new customers, because you're going to be top of mind for them referring you nonstop.
100%. And I guess we just dove right into it there. For those who might not have heard of SendJim or know of SendJim and like what you guys do, give me like that 30-second elevator speech of who SendJim is and what you guys specialize in.
Yeah. So, what we really do is we help people dominate neighborhoods. And we do that through our automation tools. Really a full multi-touch kind of platform where it's not, we do have direct mail, so you can send postcards, you can send handwritten notes for that extra personal touch, gifts, and then text messages and voicemail bombs. So just a variety of ways to stay in front of your list so that you're staying in front of mind, because people are so good forgetting, oh, who's that plumber I called, or who's that cleaning lady, who did my windows last time, and just forgetting, what's their name, who was that, how do I find them? So just staying in front of them so that they remember you. And who doesn't like a box of brownies, right? We always remember who feeds us.
100%. Yeah. I love that. There is a stigma, I guess, with technology being cold, or in the world of AI that we're in right now, like robotic even. Do you think cleaning business owners are realizing that tech maybe doesn't have to be cold and robotic? And if so, what do you think is helping shift that mindset?
Yeah. So I think that what it is we're realizing how, especially with the use of AI, with automations and everything, you really can make it personal and make it feel real. And the nice thing about it is you systematize it, so the personal touch isn't just again forgotten, but it's something that consistently happens every time.
Mm.
So for instance, say one of your techs goes and cleans a home for the first time, they clean their windows or whatever it may be, and then, later that day, they get a voicemail message from the owner asking how the technician did. That feels very personal. It seems like the owner
Mm.
called them, even though they didn't. And maybe they'll get a text after that, hey, just shot you a voicemail, would love any feedback. That personal touch, it sets you apart from just some, huge, big cleaning company or national brand that isn't going to take the time for the CEO to send you a message. And then you get a handwritten card with, a robotic arm that's actually writing this, so it's real ink with a real stamp. Like those have a 99% open rate. And again,
It's
it's setting
crazy.
yourself heart from anyone else. And you don't lift a finger. You don't have any, writer's cramp from writing any of those. It just happens. So it's all about using tools in a way that is personal. So find the ways to automate it, find the ways to make it automatic, but then make it personal.
I love that. And the robotic arm, every time I see videos of that happening, it's an amazing thing. And 99% open rate, which is crazy. You probably talk to cleaning companies and home service companies every day, right? What are some of the smartest operators doing right now when it comes to retention, referrals, and just like you mentioned earlier, like just staying top of mind with their customers? What are some of the coolest things and smartest things you've been seeing lately?
Yeah. I think huge is just the multi-channel, multi-touch, because I'm not, one person might be great reading email, another person might never open their
Mhm.
email, but they're going to see a text message or mail. Everyone gets the mail, and so there's a good chance if you send it in the right way, it's going to catch their attention. So I think it's huge just making sure you're not only doing it one way, because if it's only one way, you're going to miss people. So that's a super power move that a lot of businesses I'm seeing are doing more and more. And then not just doing one touch, but a crazy stat I heard the other day is that you always hear in marketing it takes 7, 8, 9
Mm.
touches for someone to respond. But I think it was a study just this year that they found it's doubled now because we're so oversaturated. So now it's more like 20 touches for someone to actually, pay attention. But that's even true with your customers. And so smart businesses are realizing, that one call to remind them they're due for their 6-month cleaning isn't enough, but that they've
Mm.
got to make sure that they're hitting them multiple ways, because when they get that, text message, they might be, at the dentist appointment with their kid and it's like, I can't handle this right now. And so if they get another call later or they get another email later or postcard or whatever it may be in the different channels, it's going to trigger them and remind them to actually take action and to stay front of mind for when they're ready to actually call you again. So multi-touch, multiple different channels. That's the way smart businesses I'm seeing more and more are really using technology.
100%. And obviously we do a lot in the digital marketing world, and we talk a lot about to our clients and just our community that we're building. You can't have this expectation that no matter how good your creative is, your targeting is, can be for like a Facebook ad, the likelihood is someone who's never heard of you sees your ad once and is going to fill out that lead form is so slim to none. But that's why having like tracking codes on your website using Facebook pixels, Google tracking codes to be retargeting them and to keep showing up as much as possible. Because you're right. We are competing with cute cat videos online. We are competing with
They'll give
funny reels that we can just endlessly scroll and watch. And what is your creative doing to stand out? And is your
everything.
offer good enough and things like that? You're right. It takes so much just to get someone to like pay attention to you, right? And we see a lot in our world, like video is a big factor in that right now. Video has truly become like the voice and the language of the internet. So too many home service companies, cleaning companies are not adapting to that. One, they're scared to get on camera, which I get. It's like a true phobia, but that is the language people are speaking on the internet right now. And we're just seeing those who adapt to that and like do things like this, like a podcast or like create video content like this. Those are the ones that are winning. So that's what you're seeing smart operators do. Let's talk about the flip side. What are you seeing maybe like the biggest mistakes that you're seeing people are making when they're trying to automate customer communication where it does come off cold and robotic maybe? What are you seeing people do in that arena too?
I think, a lot of times it's just not A/B testing enough is a huge
Mm.
error that I see, is that they'll create, they'll do one creative for a postcard, or they'll do one take on some sort of text they send out. Maybe it didn't get the exact response that they wanted, and then they think, oh, this platform doesn't work, or this mode of reaching out to people doesn't work, and they just kind of give up, and not realizing little tweaks can actually be huge. Even just changing a couple words in your offer, or instead of giving like 20% off, put a value on that instead. That's the same as the 20%, but seeing
Mm.
$200 is going to make a difference. And so just little things like that, to figure out what is most effective with my audience. That's a mistake I see people doing. Another is just not doing the repetition. I mean, we keep talking about that, but it's one of the biggest things I see is people thinking one and done and they're good. And it's that repetition of maybe you're going to hit them on when a birthday's coming up, and now they're ready to buy that package for, their wife or whatever it may be to get that cleaning done.
Mm,
Whereas if you hit them a month before, that's not the right time. And so that repetition and then trying different things, and really another thing is just not still adapting to technology.
mm.
It's like it's almost like they're still trying to run their business, with a horse and buggy when, people are flying and jets and who knows at some point teleporting places, and
Yeah.
it's like they're just still resistant to really adapt to it, and because it feels so overwhelming and not realizing that, getting the right people who can help you figure out how to apply it to your business, partnering with an agency like yours, or using signing up for these tools that make it really easy to adapt it and just spend a little bit of time with the team. It's going to buy back their time and save hours and hours of headache. So just take the jump and do it.
100%. One thing I love about SendJim, which a lot of our clients use SendJim. We were talking about before we push record for this. I was talking about one. I think SendJim has done a really good job of marrying this ideal of technology and relationships. I think you guys have carved out a really unique lane of blending like automation and true, like legit personalization. What have been some of the most impactful changes or features that you guys have rolled out based on user feedback? Because I think you guys have done a really good job of building what you believe is to be a really great solution, but at the same time, you're a technology company, right? You are getting feedback from your users all the time, probably. What are some things that have maybe changed or features that you've rolled out due to the feedback you're getting from your
Yeah,
customers?
that's a great question, and I love how you said that. I often think that if Dale Carnegie was gonna start a SaaS company, he would build something kinda like SendJim because
Yeah.
it's that, personal old school touch, but then with the modern technology. But yeah, we love listening to our customers. We wanna build this for, our founders are of all owned home service businesses, actively use SendJim to grow their own businesses, but then we're constantly trying to get feedback of what we can do to make it better. A few things that we've done is provide partnering to get more data, to
Mm,
our users and having more filters. So, I mean, we talked a lot about how you can use SendJim to nurture your list, but it also is very powerful to get new customers. And so, where we have these different tools where you can draw a radius bomb around a specific zip code or even neighborhood and get really granular, so you can get into like gated communities that you can't maybe
mhm,
hit the ground walking, and being able to have more filters as far as, okay, I only want, homeowner occupied, no renters. I only
mhm.
want this level of income, this many kids in the home. And we're constantly adding more filters to help you better hyper target exactly who your ideal customer is. So that's one thing. Another thing is just providing more ways to stay in front of your people. I mean, really recently this year, releasing text messaging so you could send blasts and even one
Mm.
to one communications. That's been huge. We haven't even like sent out our announcement about this yet, but it's a done deal. So
Breaking news.
I'll
I will say, like this podcast, we're pretty far ahead recording, so you
well,
might
okay,
announce
it
this by
won't be
the
all
yeah,
this then,
yeah.
but you're one of the first to hear. We just barely partnered with Nice Job, so every SendJim package will also include Nice Job as part of it. And what's really cool about it is not only will you have that powerful software just like bundled in with your already SendJim package, but then you can send the neighbors reviews from their actual literal neighbors. So we
Amazing.
just automate all that. So if a neighbor does a review, okay, let's automatically send, the neighbors that same review. So different technology like that. One more instant QR code alerts. So as soon as someone scans a QR code on your postcard, you can get an instant text or email. And so just to alert you a little bit
Very cool.
faster when action's been taken. So lots of just little things like that, that make it exciting and fun to keep the software keep developing to make it more powerful.
I love it. And this is a question I've asked every episode this season so far because I think it's amazing. We talked about like the features that they're maybe requesting, but has there been, a customer of SendJim that like surprised you the way that they're using your software that you maybe didn't even expect or think of? I heard like maybe a campaign or a strategy that just like kind of blew you guys away, how well it
Yes.
performed because the people are getting creative with it too.
Oh yeah. So one person I talked to recently, he does Facebook ads, and so
Mhm.
every time he finishes a job, he'll automatically do a 1 mile radius around the job itself. And what he does that's a little different is he always whoever the sales rep is for that area, he makes it look like they're almost the owner of the company. He puts them
Mm.
on the Facebook ads that are going to that target area. He has yard signs up with their face on it, and then also sends postcards before he goes out door to door knocking with his face on it and the company. So now they've seen his face probably when they're scrolling social media. They've seen it on yard signs and they've seen on postcards like a literal billboard in their mailbox. And then when he's knocking door to door, he looks familiar. They think he's the owner,
Love it.
and it's like, I know you. And so I thought that was a really genius way to just, again, using multi touch with digital marketing and the physical, and really making it personal, and getting people familiar before you even hit
Yeah.
the doors.
We have a few clients that do like those door to door sales, and having sending Facebook ads a few weeks before you're knocking on those doors helps, because you're right. You mean it softens that knock in a way,
Yes,
because
exactly.
everybody has the stigma of like a door to door salesman and what that process can be like as the homeowner. But if you recognize their truck, even I know he's putting that specific
Yes.
person, but even putting the vehicles, the color, the branding inside of those Facebook ads, it helps soften that knock a little bit. We're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I heard they were coming. Or I know door hangers can help out with that too, like
Right.
letting them know that you're going to be, in the neighborhood or something like that. So that's cool. Yeah. So let's talk about AI a little bit. Obviously, it is 2025. I think it'll be still 2025 when this podcast goes live. But automation and just the future that you guys are seeing, when you think about AI and its role really in small business marketing, especially in a relationship driven industry, like home services or just cleaning specifically, where are you seeing the biggest like near term opportunities with AI, with home service companies, cleaning companies? Where are you seeing in the near future people are possibly going to be using this type of technology more and winning with it?
Yeah. I think, back end office support, that admin work, it's incredible what it can do just with even helping with your numbers and your accounting and trying to figure out how to grow your business, what the math looks like.
Mm,
Incredible what it can do there. Obviously, a lot of your copywriting, even on a big scale level, but also on a granular level of just how do I say this nicely to this customer that I do not like and is talking to me horribly. Like, how do I you
yeah.
did that the other day. I'm like, "How do I say this nicer?" And so I think a lot with just helping empower, not completely taking over like your admin support, but just empowering them to work faster and more efficiently and not needing quite as many support as you maybe needed in the past to do different things.
Sure.
Helping, cover your phones after hours, all those types of things. Like if you're not already jumping on that, that's huge. And just kind of like analyzing different parts of your business that like uploading your postcard. How do I make this more compelling? What are different ideas? What are
Mm,
different headlines I can use on this? Just to give you ideas on how you can make things better. I think also just keeping current on what's happening in the world and in the news and in the industry. It's amazing what you can consume information wise in like 2 minutes.
mm.
That took a long time before to like search and find. And so finding new methods that are out there to clean more efficiently or use what technologies out there, what systems are out there to make your business run more efficiently and help yourself run the business, and also your technicians and your team. All of that is already accessible and out there, and you got to be doing it.
100%. Are there any tools or trends that you're watching closely, or maybe just SendJim is as a whole, that you think could possibly create some big shifts in how cleaning companies market themselves in the next 1 to 3 years? What are some things you're seeing like down the pipe?
Yeah, I think just getting smarter on targeting. We're already jumping on that bandwagon. Our development team is actually in the process right now of creating AI smart lists, and so
Mm,
we already talked about how you can filter certain demographics or either property values to figure out ideal customers to reach out to. But it's getting smarter. So now you can totally personality profile not only the demographics, but the behaviors of who is most likely to buy your services. And so it's getting, I mean, you're already kind of seeing this on Facebook with the way the algorithm can learn, lookalike audiences and things like that to figure out the behavior of who to target. And so bringing that technology to other platforms as well, that using behavioral, like, I don't know, like their digital footprints to
Mm,
figure out, okay, and just like random things, like it's more likely that people that are realtors like clean their windows in this specific neighborhood, or people that shop at this store, just different behaviors that you wouldn't necessarily know that you're looking for, but that AI can figure out that the patterns of this is who ideally is going to want your services. And I think it's
sure.
just going to keep getting smarter and smarter, which should make advertising, the cost come down ideally,
Mhm.
because you're making it that much hyper targeted and not just kind of the whole old like shooting, blind shooting
Yeah.
wherever, but just really rifle hyper targeted kind of.
The analogy I've always loved is, uh, fishing in a big pond.
Yeah.
Like that's what newspaper used to be. Hopefully you're fishing in a big pond and you get some sort of return. But with digital and new tools with AI, like I want to be fishing in like a tiny pond just full of the exact fish I want to be looking for. And like technology can provide that for a lot of people. I think a tough thing for people in technology companies, even like yourselves or CRM companies, things like that, is kind of just the education portion of it. I mean, is extremely daunting task for an average business owner to switch CRMs, to start using a new technology, a new software, even like jump into AI is like this overwhelming thing. But there's also this gap commonly between having the software and knowing how to use it effectively, is I guess what I'm saying. What role do companies like SendJim and other technology companies that service the home service world, what role do they play in helping cleaning professionals and home service pros actually grow their business and not just subscribe to another tool?
Yeah. I mean, you're speaking my love language because I'm super passionate about that. It's almost like this responsibility that you're not there to just help, to sell a product, but that you're here to help level up the industry.
Mm,
And that the more the industry gets leveled up, then everybody wins. And so the more that software companies, or really any companies that are serving the industry, can not just focus on the sale itself, or like here's a cool new tool to use, but here's how you actually effectively use it, and here's some other ideas or some other partners you should look into that also are effective, or the more we all are going to win, because we want to
mhm.
level up the way we're serving and the way we're marketing and just the way we're running businesses. And it's really our responsibility to help level the playing ground for everyone. And I think, like you mentioned earlier, I think video is huge, just
Mhm.
making things easier for people to consume, easier to understand, and anyone can learn how to start a business and how to run it effectively and grow it, if you just are willing to YouTube and spend some time figuring out how to make things work.
Love that. So you and I are lucky we get to be up close and personal to a lot of cleaning businesses and other home service companies. I'd love to hear your perspective on what do you think separates the ones who scale from the ones who stall? What's that like magic sauce that you're seeing and you have seen over your multi-year career now in this space specifically? What's like the magic sauce you see from those companies that like figure it out and scale compared to those ones that struggle?
Yeah. So I'm a huge systems geek. And it's I think the ones that can adapt the tools, because tools prevent mistakes, and then create the systems to have that consistency. Then number one, their business runs more smoothly, and number two, they don't go crazy running it because
Mm.
they're not constantly putting out fires all the time. And and eventually they get the freedom that they wanted when they actually started the business. And so I think taking the time to like slow down to go fast. Take the time, if you're going to do something, make it repeatable and make it document it. AI makes it super easy to create SOPs. That's another great use of it.
Mhm.
And make it so that anyone, like, how do you fit your business in a box that anyone can come and pick up that box at any moment and run it? That's what you want to do with your business if you really want it to scale and grow.
Slow down to go fast. I love that. That's good. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. You hear, I think there's a famous like Mark Zuckerberg quote that says the exact opposite. He says, "Move fast and break things." But we're also not in the same shoes of Mark and had hundreds of millions of dollars worth of investor funding to recover from moving fast and breaking things so much. So I love that, like, slow down to move fast. It's really good.
I think
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
one on that. I feel like it is a little bit of a double-edged sword. I should put a caveat there because I've also seen business owners go too slow or being too worried
Mm,
about being perfect, and then they never go. So it's kind of that 80% done and you're good. That's where people usually succeed.
100%. Yeah. Okay, sweet. I've been giving everybody on this season kind of like a elevator speech, 60 seconds. If you had 60 seconds to speak directly to a cleaning business owner listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, who's maybe on the fence about investing in marketing automations or follow-up systems, or maybe like it crazy to them that like direct mail is still working in 2025 by using the technologies that you guys use, what would you say to that business owner?
Yeah. So your ideal customer is, or I should let me rephrase that your very best customer is the next door neighbor of who you're already serving. So if you're not marketing to the neighbors, it's almost like you have this $50,000 sitting in a bank and not collecting any interest. Like you're already out there, they've seen your truck, they've maybe seen a yard sign. Automate that, you're automatically sending the neighbors some mail, or otherwise you're not getting the full bang out of the money and investment you've already done going out there and doing that job, because the neighbors are easy pickings. They're
Mm.
more likely to buy your service than anyone else.
I love that. Very cool. Hey, Michelle, thank you for being a part of this conversation. Guaranteed the people watching and listening to this are going to be able to get so much value from it. So thank you. Before we close, what's the best place for listeners or watchers to connect with you or learn more about what you're doing at SendJim?
Yeah. So you can find me on LinkedIn, just Michelle Jeppesen, and check out our website, sendjim.com, and we'll try to keep you posted on there.
I love it. So, if you found this episode helpful, simply just share it with another cleaning business owner who's trying to figure out how to grow without burning out. That's kind of our goal here at this podcast, is to help people like that. Because at the end of the day, technology, as we're talking about in season 4, it's not just about saving time; it's about building something that lasts. So, thank you for listening to this episode. We'll see you next time.